Hello, readers. Our next book of the day is Jackie and Me, A Very Special Friendship, written by Tanya Grossinger and illustrated by Charles G. Esperanza. Jackie and Me. I was 13 years old when I met Jackie Robinson in 1951. He was the star of my favorite team, the Brooklyn Dodgers. In 1947, he became the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. He was a hero to millions. Many didn't like a black man playing in the major leagues. Jackie didn't care what they thought. He knew he could help the Dodgers win games, maybe even the World Series, and he wasn't going to let anyone tell him what he couldn't do. Every kid I knew looked up to him. I did too. Most people I knew grew up in a city or a suburb. Not me. I grew up at a hotel as big as a castle called Grossinger's in New York's Catskill Mountains. It was owned by my cousins, but they didn't always treat me like family, and a lot of times I felt like I didn't belong. Lots of celebrities used to come to Grossinger's. They came to dance, eat, swim, and play tennis. Most didn't interest me at all. The only celebrity I ever wanted to meet was Jackie Robinson. So you can imagine how excited I was the November day he arrived for a short vacation with his wife, Rachel. They even posed for a picture with my mother, but I was way too shy to join them. One afternoon, I stood in line with other girls waiting to meet Jackie. One girl was a champion speed skater, another was a super skier, and then there was me, last in line as usual. What made me special? As I approached, a man talking to Jackie said, "Tanya plays a terrific game of ping pong." At that, a big smile appeared on Jackie's face. "How about we play a game around 4 o'clock? Would you like to do that?" Of course, I said yes, but I didn't believe he really meant it. Almost all the famous people I met promised things that didn't come true. So at 4 o'clock, I didn't show up. Instead, I went to my room that I shared with my mother and read. Soon, the telephone rang. It was Jackie Robinson. "I thought we had a date," he said. "Did I make a mistake?" 5 minutes later, I was in the ping pong room. We played 3 games, and we had so much fun. I cannot remember who won, but it doesn't matter because it was the happiest day of my life. When we finished the last game, Jackie gave me a big hug. When we sat down to have a soda, he asked me to explain why I hadn't come to meet him. "I didn't believe you," I said to him. "Aren't you a bit too young not to trust anyone?" Jackie asked. "I don't know if you can understand what it's like to be on the outside looking in," I told him. Jackie smiled and simply said, "Yes, dear, I think I do." Years later, I was so embarrassed to have asked Jackie that question, but I was just a girl then. How could I have known that when Jackie joined the Dodgers, many people didn't want a black man to play baseball? He was taunted and yelled at often on the field. After that day, Jackie and I started a friendship that lasted for years. I would tell him how sad I felt because I didn't think I was pretty, and that my cousins picked on me because I was a very good student and they were jealous. He told me not to pay attention to them, that I was pretty, and should be proud that I was so smart. You should never be ashamed of who you are, he'd say. That is what makes you special. One winter, Jackie tried to learn to ice skate at Grossinger's. The first time he tried, he fell down. Then he fell down again. But he didn't care. He didn't care that everyone was staring. He just took a deep breath and tried again. This time, he put one foot in front of the other and was soon gliding around the rink like a pro. Never give up. That's what he taught me. A few years later, when I went to college, Jackie would write letters to me every time he came to Grossinger's so that I wouldn't be homesick. I kept every single one. He'd often write, "I was so sorry you weren't here. We were looking forward to seeing you," or "We really missed you this time." Whenever I felt lonely or someone wasn't nice to me, I would read Jackie's letters, knowing that he was my friend and made me feel very special. I once told Jackie that when I turned 42 years old, I would remember that 42 was the number he wore on his uniform. And years later, the number 42 has become the most important number in baseball. Each year on April 15th, the day Jackie first played with the Dodgers, every baseball player on every team proudly wears a 42 on his uniform. It just proves how much he inspired people all over, including me. Jackie and I were friends for over 20 years until he died in 1972. To America, Jackie Robinson will always be a hero. To me, he will always be my friend.